If you're looking for a flexible and fun gig this summer, Half-Shell Oyster House, soon to open in Pelham, is just the place. Voted a TripAdvisor's best top 10 small chain in the United States, we are hiring for all positions including hosts, servers, bartenders, cooks, prep cooks, and more. We offer employee benefits and discounts. The possibilities for ambitious and hardworking people are endless. Stop in for an interview Monday through Friday at Half-Shell Oyster House, located at 115 Lower Park Cove, Suite 105, Flowood, Mississippi 39232, or go online to halfshelloysterhouse.com/careers to apply. And oh yeah, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports and Legends of the Sipp. Please welcome back my co-host, Rod Walker, sports writer with the New Orleans Advocate. Wanky could not make it with us this evening, so we're going to wing it with each other. And we have an amazing woman, a true Mississippi legend. Out of her 4 years at JSU, she has been voted SWAC's Women's Basketball Coach of the Year twice, and has led her team to 3 consecutive SWAC regular season titles, 2 straight SWAC Tournament Championships, and 2 NCAA tournament appearances in 2021 and 2022. She's a JPS product and played at Murrah High School. Please welcome my soror, my friend, Coach Tomekia Reed. Hey girl, how you doing?
I am well. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing well.
Awesome.
So Coach, last time you were on the show, I was audio only. Mm-hmm. So this is our first time doing virtual, so I'm excited about that. Good to see your face. But before we get started, I always ask this question to everybody that comes on the show, especially on Legends of the Sipp. How did your love for basketball begin?
Well, I'm the baby girl of 3 boys, and my mom played basketball when she was in school, but of course back then they only played half court. And my dad played football. He went to Alcorn State. Mm-hmm. And my brother played football at St. Joseph High School, and he went to Alcorn on a football scholarship. And so I just grew up around an athletic family. And basketball was one of the games that, we just started playing in the neighborhood. I have a backyard goal, and I was always a very prissy girl. Mm-hmm. And so my brother, who's deceased now, he was murdered some years ago, we would go around to different neighborhoods playing basketball, and he'll say, I got my sister. So everybody would say, oh, they would put money down. We're going to beat y'all. We're going to blow y'all out. And then we used to win. We used to go around beating people.
Wow.
And so, that I just grew a love for the game and started playing in middle school and high school and later in college.
Wow. So, you mentioned your parents, your mom and your dad played. And Coach, like you, I'm a daddy's girl. And he passed away in 2008. And he's one of the reasons why I didn't play sports, love sports, but the reason why I'm doing this show. Jane Kennedy, I used to watch sports with him all the time, and I saw her and was like, Daddy, I want to do that. And he said, you can. Did you have that same situation with your father as far as like when you played? I know, because your mom played, but your daddy playing, and you wanted to just kind of emulate both of them in some way?
Yeah, my dad, he wasn't big on me playing sports. It was just kind of whatever. My dad really wanted me to play the piano. And So yeah, so I was like, Dad, I guess I would have played the piano, but back then my teacher used to whoop my hand with a ruler when I would make a mistake. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're not going back there, Daddy. No, no, Daddy. And so I got the basketball, and when I got the basketball, it seemed like our relationship just got closer
Mhm.
because he had a little athlete who ended up being really good, and went and played, basketball, in high school and in college, and so he was really proud of me. And throughout my life and my career, I've always wanted Dad to be proud. So transitioning to basketball was truly a connection for him and making our relationship a whole lot stronger and closer.
That's awesome.
Tamika, you talk about your high school days, and you played with Murrah when Murrah was rolling. What do you kind of remember from those days? Yeah, I start off with that. What do you remember from those Murrah days?
When I played at Murrah High School, we were celebrities. We won all kinds of championships. I mean, we were ranked in the country, and this was when teams were not being ranked back then. And we were a Nike team. We played in Nike championship games. We traveled across the country to play in games against big time players who went on to play the WNBA. Shamika Holdsclaw, Christ the King. We played against those type of schools, and I think at the time we were number 8 in the country, and Christ the King, which is a high school in New York, they were number 1. You know, and we faced these teams, and I can just remember the stardom that we had, and we paparazzis back then taking pictures, I mean, dressing up. I mean, it was it was live back then. It was everything.
How
Wow.
much did like Coach Jackson's because you talk about how y'all dressing up. I mean, you always knew those Murrah girls because y'all were gonna come in there. Y'all didn't come to the gym like those other schools. Y'all had the heels on, the dresses on. But how much did just Coach Jackson, Anna Jackson, how much did she just influence you as a coach? And just did you take any of the things that she taught you all? Have you used that in your
Absolutely.
current position?
Absolutely. Coach Jackson was big on your look. She was big on, the way you carried yourself. She was huge on academics and just being a really tough disciplinarian type of coach. And those are some things that I carried with me because those are things that you need to establish your foundation. In order to build, you got to have that foundation. And so having a disciplined team and watching the way you carry yourself, making where you are very attractive, making where you are, you want other people to want to come, making it classy. Those are all the things that I carried into me being a head coach, and especially at Jackson State, because I came in at a time where there was no respect for the program. So
Yeah.
we had to revive, we had to revive the way people viewed us. And so we had to change the way we looked. And so I carry a lot of that with me from Coach Jackson, and the way she dealt with players in terms of her relationship and the way she cared for players as well. That's really big for me with my teams now.
Mhm. That's awesome. Coach, while doing research, I read that you compared yourself to legendary Dennis Rodman. Can you talk about that for us?
Oh my goodness, you went back.
I research.
You told me that
Man,
earlier.
You said what, Rod?
I said you told me that earlier. That as soon as you said, it, I was like, yeah, that's how she played. I mean, she was just a rebound. Like you knew your role, and that's what you did.
that's right. I knew my role, and we had a team full of athletes. I mean, we had Keisha Tardy, who went to LSU. We had Tamika Rogers, who went to Memphis. We had Ebony Felder, who went to Georgia. Yetta Anna Bakary, who went to
Wow.
Howard. We had some big time players who can score the ball. So for me, it's like I'm gonna get in where I fit in. That ball wasn't coming to me to score a whole lot, but I knew I could go to the rebound and get it and get some putbacks. And so that's why I compare myself to a Dennis Rodman. I was relentless, I was tough, and I was a go-getter. Rebounding is not something that's taught, that's something that's inside of you. And
That's
that's
true.
why I compare myself to Dennis Rodman.
But see, and I told Rod I didn't play, but Rod, stop laughing. My sister, I'm 5'10". My sister is 5'5", but she is one of the baddest girl basketball players ever. And we used to play at my grandmama's house, and guys never really chose me because I was real prissy, just tall, but I would rebound. So it's in you. You
Yeah,
literally
that's right.
right.
That's
Oh,
right.
I'm with you.
It's in you. I feel you on that. I really, really do. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was kind of dope. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that's pretty dope. So, Rod, did you want to elaborate on anything before I move
Uh,
forward?
I can go chime in on some of this. I guess it's more non-basketball, but yeah, Tamika, I mean, I guess you and I, we kind of connected early on, and I guess you know where I'm going with this. But I remember you losing your mom when you were in high school. I don't know if y'all played a game that particular night or the next night, but I just remember like people talking about it and hearing about it. And anyway, just I come from the same situation. I lost my mom when I was at a young age too. But how did you sort of overcome that adversity? And how much did that fuel you to get to where you are now?
Yeah.
That was a really tough time for me. Being the only girl of three boys and being in high school at such a young age, losing my mom, it was the essentials of becoming a woman or some of the things that I missed out on.
Yeah.
I grew up so aggressive when she passed because I was around all boys who didn't take junk and you couldn't cry around them. And so I just became really tough, but it was a very tough time. I don't remember a whole lot from my childhood days, but I remember that particular day that you're saying, I remember that. And it was the tournament at Forest Hill, the Pepsi Cola
This was
Classic.
yeah.
It was that tournament, and I can remember I hadn't practiced, I hadn't been at school, and Coach Jackson came down and said, "If you're not feeling up to it, you do not have to play." She said, "But we do need you." And so I can remember the first time I checked into that game, the crowd stood to their feet and just clapped for me because everybody knew what I had gone through. And to have that support, because we were at a tournament with multiple teams, multiple supporters from all teams, and I had people clapping and really motivating me. Um, and so that was an awesome feeling. And obviously, every day that I'm here in Jackson, Mississippi, every day that I'm in my community, I just want to make my parents proud because this is home, and I think all the time, and Rod, you probably do too, and you too, Sonya, are we making our parents proud? What would they say if they were here today? And so that's my driving force every day. I just want to be an example, and I just want to do great things to help them, to let them know, I love you, I miss you, and I appreciate you, and I hope you are proud of me in return.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Coach, it's been 50 years since Title IX was first established. And today in 2022, do you think Title IX has really done a lot for women in sports?
Absolutely, it has. It's done a lot for women. Um, it's done a lot for colored women. Um, we've come a very, very, very long way,
Yeah.
but we have a very long way to go. And but we're on the right track.
Yeah.
And with Title IX, with the anniversary, with the way they have been promoting this is awesome because
Yeah.
now you're putting in the leadership hands, the athletic directors of all these institutions, to understand where we've been, where we are, and where we're headed, and how they are so important in the next 50 years.
Right.
So that's the thing. Are we on pace for a change for the next 50 years? That's very important. And so if I had to answer that, I would say we are. We have a long way to go, but we are on track.
That's awesome. And that's you pretty much answered the next question. I was gonna ask you, do you think it'll be a leveling field in 50 years or hopefully sooner? So hopefully sooner we will see more progress. A lot, like you said, a lot has been done. We have made major strides. I think if Kobe was still here with girl basketball, he was getting ready to take it to a whole different place because of Gigi. I really think,
Good point.
and I think maybe they will still try to push that because it needs to be done. You ladies are doing amazing things in college basketball, amazing things.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Tomekia, what's been the key to you getting Jackson State? I know you said changing the mindset, but like, how did you get the program to where it is right now? What specifically did you do to get things turned around? Because you got that thing rolling now. So
You know, God is really good, and I won't sit here and try to take all the credit. It's just been a lot of grace, mercy, and a lot of favor, because what we've been able to do, you guys, is not normal. It hadn't been done before, and until now, it wasn't really talked about a whole lot. You know, it took us to get a Coach Prime in to bring national attention to the program. Now they're seeing, oh, it's not just one sport over there doing some things. You got another sport doing some things. And so I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay. Eventually, I knew that we would gain some ground in terms of respect, in terms of reaching the national, you know, having national attention. 4 years ago, when I came to Jackson State, I wanted to revive our alumni. I wanted to get back into the community. I wanted to recruit our state, because when I took over, we had players on the roster. I think we had one player from Mississippi on the roster.
Yeah.
And when I took over the second year, the roster was almost half full of Mississippi. Then the next year was all of Mississippi, maybe 2 or 3 out-of-staters. And so I think that was key. So when you can put your in-state kids on your team, now you have that in-state support in their families, in their high schools, you know, their coaches. You have that support. They can come to the gym. When players see support, when they see fans in the stands, it gives them a will, a sense of urgency, a sense of value to want to compete, be competitive, and to want to be great. And you know, being mediocre was not an option. Being average was not an option. And you know, just speaking life into them, you know, training them in a totally different way than the HBCU is used to being trained, and exposing them to things that they weren't used to being exposed to, that helped get that program off the ground really fast. I knew we had to be great in my first year in order to get better recruits in the next year, in order to get better recruits in the next year. So that's been a driving force. Like, we gotta be great. We can't have a subpar season. So that's really helped us tremendously.
yeah, I know when I was covering, I did girls basketball in Mississippi for so long, and I mean Jackson State wasn't even getting a look from them, Danny Dozen girls, not like that wasn't even on their radar. So I mean the job you've done has been just tremendous, getting some of that talent in there that in the past was getting overlooked state pretty much, or they weren't even looking at Jackson State. Let me say it that way.
And that's been my thing. Why not?
Right.
For a long time, that was our motto. Why not Jackson State? Why not an HBCU? Why leave and go play somewhere else when you can come here and be a star, and you can help do some things that's never been done before? You can help Ole Miss, Southern Miss, or Mississippi State win a championship. They won plenty. You can help them get to the Final Four. They've been to plenty. But come and help an HBCU do it who's never been there. Now your name goes down in history as one of the first. So that's how we were able to pull and bring people in and get them to buy into that vision.
That was very smart, a smart strategy to use, because you're right. Why not try here? That's a good idea. And speaking of that, because of what you did this past season, the Lady Tigers was 16-0. The year before they were 15-1, and you guys not only won SWAC tournaments and SWAC champion. What am I trying to say? Yeah, regular season. You guys made it to the big dance. So we go to Baylor last year. That was a challenge for us. But we get LSU the following year, and the same Coach Hall of Famer, Coach Mulkey. So we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
So when you found out that you guys were playing LSU, what went through your head? Because you knew what coach was there. What went through your head?
Man, I was thinking to myself, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. We know her system. We know her style. We know how they're going to come out and play. We know how aggressive they're going to be. They have her personality.
Yeah.
She's tough. She's a go-getter. She's going to get after it. They play like her. She took a team that was not hers and had them to do things that they hadn't done in 3 or 4 years. So I knew what they were playing off of was what she instilled in them. So with that being said, we already knew the system because we had did an extensive amount of research and breakdown on her Baylor's program.
Yeah.
But she didn't have Baylor's athletes. And so we knew we stood a chance. Um, and it was just embarrassing against Baylor, y'all. We got to the locker room. You come in as SWAC champions and you leave the NCAA first round and you feel like you have failed. You feel like you don't even belong on the basketball court when you get beat by 50 like that. And I told the team and I told my staff, we will be back next year. And I told my staff, my strength and conditioning coach, every supplement Baylor is taking, I won't. Everything they do in the weight room, we're gonna start doing. We may not match up in resources, swimming pools, all of that, but I can buy a supplement. I can increase their nutrition plan. We can do those things. I can increase the weight room. And we did that.
Love it.
That's what we did. And it helped us be competitive in preseason. We going 18-0 in the conference. That's phenomenal.
That's phenomenal.
Then coming into the LSU game and you match up. We actually, when we looked at the statistics across the board, we were better than LSU. Yeah. Field goal percentage, free throw percentage, rebounds per game, points average per game, defensive stops per game. We were above them. Even they had more turnovers than us. They averaged more turnovers.
We did.
So we beat them on paper. And that's what I showed the player. I said, y'all, if we don't go play this game, we already won. That's what I told them. Right? So we went in with a great amount of confidence into their game, and we really, really thought we had that game.
How many times have you watched it over? Or have you not watched it over?
It took a lot of time for me to watch it because I had some regrets of some things I felt like I should have done differently. And I didn't want to watch it to begin to beat myself up.
Right.
So maybe about 3 weeks ago, I watched it for the first time, and we really looked good. I was really impressed. The regrets I had, it was nothing else I could have done, nothing else I could have done. And so you just got to be perfect when you play games like that. You got to be perfect. You have to be disciplined. You cannot make mistakes. And I tell my athletes that all the time. And I tell them that about life. You got to be perfect when you're in this world, because we are already behind the 8 ball being an African-American woman.
That's right.
So, we got more changes to make. But hopefully, Lord say the same, we'll be back.
Oh, y'all gonna be back. That's
you had social media buzz that afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I know that as the game was winding down and y'all looked like y'all were gonna pull it off, and everybody was talking. So
we was losing it. I mean, it was like, oh my, I was like just walking the floor because God, if this happened, it's a wrap. But guess what? Even though it did not happen the way we planned and we thought it was gonna happen, everything happened for a reason, and God still gave you favor even in all of that. Mm-hmm. After the game, Coach Mulkey came to congratulate you, whispered in your ear, and JSU fans lost it because of what she said. I understood it. I wasn't mad, and I was like, yeah, that's true. Tell us what she said to you.
With Kim, Kim is going to speak her mind.
Yes.
And so she grabbed my hand and she said, damn good job, coach. She said, you're one of the top coaches in the country. She said, you represented well. She said, I'm extremely proud of you. She talked about being an upcoming coach, and she said, if Jackson State wants to keep you, they're going to have to pay you. That's what she told me in my ear. And we just kind of laughed and we walked on. But she said, your future's really bright. That's what she told me. We talked. She held me and talked to me. I felt like it was a good 10 minutes, but I think it was like...
It seemed like it.
2 or 3 minutes, yeah. And so, a lot of people got upset about that, you guys. But the fact that a Hall of Famer who gained a lot of respect for what we do, because not too often people don't respect HBCU coaches. They don't think we know what we're doing. They don't think we know how to coach. They think we just win our conference because the conference is weak.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't have respect for what we do. So to have a Hall of Famer coach say that, all she was really saying is, you are a great coach and you deserve everything that it is to go get. That's pretty much that's how I took it, you know. But yeah, I was, at the time, it didn't register with me. I was like, man, we just lost, blah, blah, blah. But after the game, I was like, wow.
That was dope.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. So, Coach, of course, after this game, even with the loss, it was many pursuing you. You want to tell us who possibly pursued you? I mean, you want to talk about it?
Well, just out of, integrity for how the system worked. But I had two Power Fives reach out to me, Pac-12, the Big 12. I had, Mountain West reach out, the ACC conference reached out. So not ACC, I'm sorry, the AAC conference reached out. So I had some really big teams, y'all, and it had got to a point where I felt empty. I felt like it was something else I needed to do. I stopped interviewing. I told my agent I'm done. My agent at the time, I don't have an agent now, but I told him at the time, I said, I'm done. I don't want to do any more interviews. I just want to kind of focus on Jackson State because it was a lot. It was a lot.
So would you say your loyalty to Jackson State as well as unfinished business kept you here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just sat and thought about it. You can't be right there then walk away.
That's right.
Every level needs some type of representation. Yeah. Dawn Staley is doing a great job in representing that on her level. Every level needs a representation. So she's at the highest. So let me take what they consider the lowest. Because in order for the game to truly elevate, it's like being on a string. If the top is going to elevate, the bottom has to go with it. If we don't, it begins to do this, and it's not a true elevation of the women's game. So let me help elevate with the top, and that's all it was about. I just feel like we were right there, and if anybody can knock down a wall or can make something happen or can bring in more respect, we can do it at Jackson State. So I felt like, and my players felt like it. I didn't want to, they were like, Coach, wherever you go, we're going. But I didn't want them to. It was too good, too much talent returning. I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go for another ride.
I love it. I feel though, just knowing that this run, these past few years, has kind of got your name out there, and people are pursuing Tomekia Reed now.
It is phenomenal. You guys, to touch down in Jackson, Mississippi, and before I can even get back from the LSU game, I'm getting a phone call, we flying you out tomorrow. To walk around these campuses with, huge. I'm like, wow. Like, wow. It was an amazing feeling because HBCU coaches don't get that opportunity.
No.
They don't get that opportunity. Coaches retire from HBCU. You got Sandy Pugh, who I'm sure had some options at a point in her career, who's been at HBCU level as a pioneer for over 25 years. You got the coach at Frida Jackson at Alabama State, who's been over 25 years. Coaches don't leave the HBCU to go to that level. Vivian Stringer did it.
Yep.
You don't have many though.
That's true.
Right.
You don't have many. So to even have that opportunity to be able to come back and share, I hope for me, it gives Coach Skeet, which is the new head coach at Texas Southern, some hope that when I come over here, I have an opportunity to continue to grow the game on different levels too.
Right.
you know, and not just be limited to one level. If we choose to stay, we choose to stay. That's our choice. But at least to be able to see those options is a sure blessing and a wonderful opportunity.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Coach, you know, we talked about this on the phone the last time I interviewed you. I don't think it was on record, but one thing I love about you, you have always, you know, you always uplift all your girls. It's not just, you know, the superstar. You uplift everybody. But I want to talk about two young ladies. Of course, you know Amisha Williams Holiday. She is pretty special. Second SWAC women's basketball player to go get drafted, and the first from JSU under you. How awesome is that? And also the first Alexis Roberts, the first deaf student athlete to sign to a Division I women's basketball program in Mississippi. Tell us about your girls.
Man, I'm just thankful God is using me as a vessel for these type of things to happen and dreams to come true. You know, Alexis, this is the first time, you know, that, you know, this has happened with, you know, having a hearing impaired student athlete. And not only that, she went to the Olympics and won a gold medal, you guys. I mean, this is just, I'm living a dream. And sometimes I have to pinch myself. I'm just so thankful. And to have Amisha Williams Holiday drafted, when she came to Jackson State campus, I was like, okay, I don't want to fail her. She is a pro. But will they respect her and us enough to recognize that she's a pro? So from day one, our SID for Jackson State, we started a campaign. And I mean, we pushed and we pushed and we pushed in the basketball, you know, realm of reporters and news writers. We really pushed and sold her. I mean, you know, and Skate, who used to be undefeated, they came in, they were writing article after article because it's a great push.
Oh no.
If HBCU players an opportunity to go pro, because guess what? I got 5-star athletes that was once at, you know, USC, that was once at Mississippi State. You know, we got all these, and say my internet. We have all these 5-star players who can go play pro basketball. Give us a shot. And they gave us a shot.
Gave us a shot.
It worked. And then, you know, Brian Adams, you know, he had a camp. I did everything I could to get them over there. We got them over there. They worked out in front of some WNBA scouts. And they, at that time, her name was already on the draft board. They came up with the board in February. Her name was already on the board, but we didn't know, you know, if they would bite. So being at Brian's clinic, I was able to, you know, see the coaches, see the scouts, and say, okay, what do you think? You know, she got a chance. This was after the season. Oh no, coach, she got a chance. You know, she's a sleeper. So, you know, it's just, it works. And what it does, it helps us. It makes me look phenomenal. But it makes the HBCU community look great. You know, and I'm telling y'all, it's just, that kid is a pro. She's a pro kid. That young lady's a pro. She was a pro when she came on campus. And I'm just glad they saw that value in her.
That's good. How is she doing? She's doing pretty good.
She's doing good. She got released from the team at Indiana Fever, but the coaches were just blown away from her abilities. You know, Amisha's married and she has a son. So I think, you know, when she got released, you know, with the way the COVID has been, it's been so much with basketball. She took some time off to go be a mom and be a wife. And so, but she has several offers overseas, but those are, they start late August. And so now she's just taking time and just preparing for that.
That's awesome. We will continue to root for her. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, so we talked about one of your past players. We'll talk about one of your current players, Dion's daughter, and I'm probably going to butcher her name, but Shalomi, I think, or Bossy, or whatever you got. How do you say it?
Shalimai.
Oh my God, I jacked it up bad. I'm sorry.
And look, and we were both in Bible
apologize.
school together. That's a Bible name.
Shalimai. Okay. I mean, what what can she bring to the program? I watched a few videos of her. I can tell she's a really good
Really
shooter.
good. Mm-hmm.
But what does she bring? And there's some other girls that you brought in. Feel free to mention them as well. But what does she bring to the team?
Yeah, I was, Shalimar was someone that we kind of, got a chance to really watch late. Obviously, with Coach Prime being on campus, we began to develop a relationship with the family.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was a player that I was able to go watch late. And when I watched her play, I didn't know what she would bring to the table in terms of the competition level that she was playing at. And I knew she could shoot the ball, and I knew she was crafty off the bounce and getting to the basket. She just she's got that toughness, that confidence, from her brothers, because they instilled it into, it's all in them. That competitive edge is in everybody. And so since she's been on campus working out with the players, she has been right, she's right there. She's able to get her shots off. She's able to knock down shots. She's getting to the basket. She has a great deal of confidence, so I'm excited about what she's doing and bringing to the program. We have another player. She's about 6'5", 6'6", that came from USC in the Pac-12 conference. Yeah. McDonald All-American, 5-star player. She's a Jordan brand player. Top 25 Jordan brand player. He doesn't have many players, but she's one of them. And I mean, she's just phenomenal. She's a 6'5", 6'6" player. I say 6'6" because she's taller than our 6'5" player. Okay. She's taller than my 6'5" coach. But everybody has listed her as 6'5", and I'm like, no, she's 6'6". But she handles the ball well. She does a great job in shooting the outside shot. She's going to cause a lot of problems. So we're really excited about her as well. We got another transfer from Rutgers. I mean, they played basketball the other day, and she was 9 for 10 from the three-point line. I mean, she can flat out shoot it. So we have a lot of pieces, really good freshmen. My freshmen are so tough and so confident. They don't look or act like freshmen. And I'm really excited about them as well. So we brought in a really good group that we're really excited about.
So y'all gonna run the table again is what you're telling me.
Pretty much.
We are excited.
Look how she's.
We can put that on all the bulletin boards in every locker room in the SWAC.
I cannot wait. Oh, I'm excited. I cannot wait. I really, really am. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we let you go, we play a game called You Can Get With This or You Can Get With That. And what that is, that's a way for the listeners and us to get to know the guests better. So I ask you a few questions and you choose the one that best fits you, okay?
Okay.
So this is, and Rod, you know some of these restaurants. These are restaurants here. What's your, between the two, what's your favorite, Manship or Half Shell?
Half Shell in Flowwood.
Thank you. That is one of our sponsors for the show.
I haven't eaten at either one of those restaurants.
Oh, you have to. Both of them are delicious, but Half Shell is better.
Okay.
Matter of fact, that's the last place I saw you too. At Half Shell. Would you prefer losing sleep or skipping a meal?
I do both. Let's see. If I had a choice, I would skip a meal.
Skip a meal, okay. Cash or credit?
Ooh, credit.
Well, I had a fraudulent charge the other day. They charged a helicopter on my credit card. A toy helicopter for like $200. So yeah, I'm gonna be using cash quite a bit in certain places now. I couldn't believe it. That's never happened to me. You prefer sneakers or dress shoes?
Oh, the pandemic changed it.
I know.
Yeah, changed.
I just started wearing stilettos again, like the last few months.
And I put on the pair and my back went out. So I'll say
So Snickers right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You prefer pork chops or lamb chops?
Lamb chops. Yeah.
I just had one for the first time the other day. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't
do. Yeah. You prefer shopping online or shopping in the store?
Online.
Me too. Tattoos or piercings or both? Which one do you prefer?
Tattoos.
Tattoos. How many do you have?
None.
So you prefer tattoos?
If I would.
If you could, okay.
If I got something right now, it'd be a tattoo. I wouldn't put any more ear holes in my ear,
okay,
or in my nose or nowhere else. But I would get a hidden tattoo.
Gotcha. All right. You prefer these two either as rapper or actors? Method Man or Ice Cube?
I prefer Ice Cube as a. I like him as both.
I know.
Oh my goodness, I like him as both. But if I had to choose for this day, I would say actor.
Actor, okay, for Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, Method Man, rapper.
Okay, and cutest. Do you prefer a time machine or magic wand?
Oh, I like magic. Time machine. Oh, I can go back and see Daddy. But I can do magic too.
Okay.
I'm gonna say magic.
Magic, okay.
Magic.
Last but not least, Coach Don Stately or Coach Joni Taylor?
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, nah, we're not doing that.
No, I mean, no, it's not. But it's not a wrong answer. It's just
They are both.
Oh, it's a wrong
they're
answer.
both amazing. No, it's
They
No,
not.
I'm saying anything she said. No. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rod. What you?
They
No,
are.
I'm saying like, I'm sure she knows both of them, so I don't.
Yeah,
know.
but I mean, well, Coach Joni has been on the show, but I mean,
And they're in the same sorority.
I know we're all in the same sorority.
To be honest, I would have to say Joni because I know her. Joni is one of my mentors.
Okay.
And I know her. I know her. She's done a lot for me. She's done a lot for the game. Joni is on my resume as a reference.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I love what Dawn Staley is doing for our culture, for us women.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I love what she's doing, and I love the fact that she's not afraid to use her platform.
I love that. And Ryan, I wasn't trying to start no mess. I
didn't want to get her in trouble, you know. I think if she said Dawn, Johnny's gonna be mad. She
but
said
I knew
Johnny,
she
Dawn.
loved Dawn. I knew because I've read where she talked about Dawn, and then I was like, I'm gonna add Joni in there. You know, that's our soror. I was just saying. I was just checking her out. Okay.
Gotta hold Johnny down for the Sipp now.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love her too. She is an amazing woman. I really, really love her. Well, Coach, it has been a pleasure to have you on the show. Please tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media.
Thank you guys for having me. And
Absolutely.
You can follow me on Instagram at Coach Tomekia Reed, or on Facebook as Tomekia Reed, or Twitter as Coach T Reed, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's saying Tomekia Reed like she has a normal spelling for her name.
Yes,
It's like,
do that for us, please.
Tomekia Reed, thank you. It's Tomekia. Tomekia Reed.
Thank you.
I had to learn that. I had to learn that back in the day because it was like Tomekia Reed, Tamika Rogers. It may have been another one. I can't remember. But it was just had a Shanika. I think it was just a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot going on.
Right.
But great memory.
And Rod, tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media and also read your articles.
On Twitter, it's just Rod Walker Nola, and the article's on NOLA.com.
Awesome. And I don't know if you know, Coach, but Rod was Sports Writer of the Year with New Orleans Advocate. He just actually got his award last week and met Jane Kennedy and some more people. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
I appreciate
That's
it.
so deserving. You've been doing this thing for a long time and you're so good at it. That's so deserving. Great job.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm still following you, so
Good.
keep it up what you're doing. So I'm rooting for everybody in Mississippi.
Absolutely. And guys, you can follow me at She Say Sports on Facebook, She Say Sports 23 on Instagram, at She Say 23 on Twitter, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, guys, this is our show and our segment, Legends of the Sipp. We'll see you next time.